Hi, welcome to the Creative Festival. My name is Susan Stortini, and I am a certified Zentangle teacher. I had the privilege of learning Zentangle with the founders of Zentangle, Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. Well, Maria is a very famous calligrapher, and Rick is a Zen monk and many other things. I'd like to introduce my assistant, Kirsty Narray. She's helping me all the time at the Creative Festival and other things. Both of us are glass artists, and we use Zentangle as a method to relax. Zentangle is an easy-to-learn method of creating beautiful patterns with repetitive strokes. And what happens with Zentangle is when you start, it's taught in a very philosophical, structured way, using and implementing a lot of metaphors to help people calm down. All the patterns look very complicated, but in fact, they're very, very simple to produce. 3 or 4 steps. Once you learn a pattern, people just flow from that and create their own pattern. I'd like to show you some patterns in the book that I had done when I had flown to the States to learn how to do this. And it is not goal-driven. It's process-driven, not goal-motivated. So I'll just go through these patterns. It's called like a flip through the book. And in a few seconds, I would like to show you how to do this and how rewarding it is. In this particular one here, I used a rubber stamp. After teaching as many classes as I have, I find the students are becoming so confident and willing to move ahead. I go to a lot of schools and teach children, in particular the younger grades to the higher grades, and it's absolutely staggering and exciting how their whole personality and self-confidence improves. So with no further ado, I'll move on to a pattern. Thanks, Kirsty. Okay, so put on those glasses. Okay. So just initially to start, we start with 4 corner dots. A lot of people have trouble unblanking the blank page. So as a starter, we start with 4 corner dots with a pencil. So I just have a regular pencil here. And from that, you join the 4 corner dots. Most people tell you, I can't draw a straight line. These are my favorite people. So I'm going to draw a crooked line because it doesn't have to be perfect. The metaphor for Zentangle is there are no erasers and there are no mistakes. So once I've done my 4 corner dots and joined them, I'm going to draw a string, and a string can be any pattern you want. So I've just divided my section into equal parts. Now I put down my pencil, and now I use my pen. We found using a micron .01 pen is the best. So it's a special instrument. You uncap it, and it is sort of treated like a ceremony. And in each section, you do a pattern. So the first pattern I'm going to do in this section, I'm going to turn my towel. It's called hollow bow. And I'm just going to make vertical lines across the page. I'll turn my tile and do the same. Now, one of the lessons in Zentangle is you never cross the line. This makes it look very complicated when in fact it's a very simple process. It builds up very quickly, so you never cross lines. I'll turn the tile. And even now while I'm doing it, I get into a and one more turn. So all the patterns in Zentangle are named, and the names mean nothing. So you don't have a preconceived idea of how it's supposed to look. So now in this section, I'll do another pattern. I'll do a pattern called crescent moon. I'll do that in here. Basically, a crescent moon is just a small half semicircle about the size of a ladybug. Yeah, about the size of a ladybug. I use So I continue filling in one stroke at a time. It's important to take the time to go slowly. Okay, see now I've done a pattern like this. Most everyone will just do a head, so I'll put an aura around it. Do one more. So then I'll move to another section. So here I'll do a pattern called flux. It's just a big loop, and I'll put some orbs around it. And this might be called tipple. I'm not. It works up relatively quickly, but the idea about it is you can always drop it and pick up and not lose your flow. So there's another pattern. And here I'll do one called, I love this pattern. This is one of my favorites. It's called Zentangle. I'm just going to do random lines. Anyone can do this. And in each one of these little smaller sections, I'm just going to squeeze, follow the lines, and just follow my pen along the outside line, but miss the corners. Now you'll find when you start doing this art form, you totally relax and you become mesmerized by the process. When I teach classes, I've always marveled how either the students in school become absolutely quiet and somewhat entrained in their work. Oh, there's one here. So in this section, I'll do a pattern that's very simple to do as well. It's just patterning. It's called Shattuck, and I'm just going to make parallel lines. I constantly turn my tile. I find this is a wonderful process, in particular for the schools, and it's used as, so there I go, just double the lines. So, now of course I'm doing this on video, so I'm not doing it as peacefully as I normally would. So then this one here, so you've got an interesting pattern here. And this one here is called Kiko. I'll just do it quickly. Actually, don't do anything quickly in Zentangle. And I'd like to show you. So I'm making horizontal lines and then vertical lines. And then in each one of these intersections, I'll just weight it a little bit with my pen to make it look like it's a basket weave, like it threads in and out. So once that's finished, I'll close my pen. I'll take my pencil and do some shading. And you don't have to know art shading exactly how it should be done. You just shade the outlines. And so the shading gives it some dimension. Like life isn't black and white. As I said, it's like a metaphor. It's shades of gray. So
this is what Cheryl was talking about, Cheryl, right? And the Zentangle.
So then,
Yeah.
when you just shade it, and when I first learned how to do this, I didn't have a little stump. It's called a tortillon, or a stump. And like all things that are of value, you should always sign your work with an initial or a chop on the front. And then when you turn it over, you sign your name on the back. And it would be, I guess I should write YouTube Creative Festival and the date. And it's April 28th. And there you have it. Thank you.